Do you ever feel like a vital piece of yourself slipped away? Like a song played on an old tape that kept skipping? You might wonder if there was a time when the world just glowed differently for you. By the end of this, you will understand that losing magic is not a decline. It is actually a subtle skill you can relearn every single day. You probably feel it most strongly on quiet Sunday afternoons. A feeling of missing something beautiful and unnameable. It feels like nostalgia for a time that never actually existed. We associate magic with childhood, with wonder and pure possibility. But the truth is that magic wasn't stored in one place you left behind. It was built into the way you saw things then. Growing up means developing complex systems to help you survive. You learn how to work, how to pay bills, and how to navigate relationships. These skills are necessary. They matter for a normal life. Yet they come with a quiet tax on your soul. The magic, that feeling of immediate wonder, seems to shrink every time you acquire another responsibility. So if we lose the sparkle, what exactly do we sacrifice? Is it just the joy, or something deeper about how you connect to the world? Stay with me for the answer. Your early years taught you to see everything as a grand event. A puddle was an ocean. A spiderweb held ancient secrets. Everything had immense meaning because your imagination filled in the gaps. You didn't need an explanation. The mystery itself was enough. This sense of wonder is natural and powerful. It helps you process life with boundless energy. The world, however, begins to hand you facts instead of questions. School teaches you to categorize things. Adult life demands that you schedule everything. You learn that the biggest events are the planned ones, the career goal, the mortgage payment. Suddenly, wonder feels like a distraction. It is inefficient. The magic fades because your brain prioritizes function over feeling. But what about the moments you cannot schedule? The random bursts of deep curiosity. There was one thing this structure fundamentally misses. The next layer of loss is something much quieter than missing big adventures. It is the slow withdrawal from pure, unburdened play. When you were young, play served a single purpose: self-discovery. You didn't just play, you practiced being free. You built worlds out of cardboard boxes that mattered more than any real thing ever could. As you grow up, play becomes something you do. It is an activity to fill time. It never returns to being the vital emotional engine it once was. We trade spontaneous invention for optimized routine. We accept structure because we think we need predictability. The idea of pure, pointless creation feels like a luxury reserved only for museums or holidays. But simply having spare time does not restore that lost sense of playfulness. You have to actively reclaim the spirit of it. This brings us to something even harder to keep alive: the emotional bandwidth. When you were small, emotions felt clean and simple. Sadness was defined by a scraped knee. Joy was definite laughter. They had clear boundaries. Adult life does not work that way. Now your sadness might be tied to an old friendship and a bad grade at work. Your joy might come from completing a task you hated doing. Your heart is forced to hold paradoxes. You must feel love for someone while also feeling deep frustration with them. The simple emotional landscape of childhood stretches into complex, overlapping fields. It feels heavy. It feels like too much information to process. This constant weight of mixed feelings drains the subtle magic out of your day. It makes you defensive about what little wonder remains. You become skilled at emotional triage, figuring out which problem needs attention right now. This skill is survival, but it requires a deep cost. There's one core idea that explains all this loss. And it isn't about time or money, or even responsibility itself. It's about where you learned to look for the evidence of wonder. The magic never left the world. The magic wasn't housed in secret places or guarded by forgotten wishes. You were taught too early that the deepest meaning had to be found outside of yourself, that it required a grand gesture or a monumental achievement. This belief creates an exhausting search for proof of wonder. You stop noticing the small things because you are waiting for the big reveal. You wait for the moment everything makes sense. But life rarely gives perfect explanations. It simply keeps happening. And sometimes that's the real magic. The way to find it again is not to go back in time. That is impossible. Instead, you must practice a radical act of seeing, a focused attention on what already exists right now. You need permission to observe without needing to label or categorize. You don't need more spectacular moments. You just need to notice the way the afternoon light hits a worn wooden floor, the specific sound of rain hitting your window glass, the unexpected moment of true quiet between people. The magic was never outside you waiting to be rediscovered. It is in the constant choice to pause, to look closely, and to accept mystery as enough. Maybe all it takes is a simple refusal to explain everything. A steady commitment to being present for the beautiful mess that life remains. What will you choose to notice today?